Well, hi everyone, and greetings from Northern Michigan. This is Bob the Science Guy. You know, for the last couple of weeks, Phuket Word has been missing in action. Thought perhaps he had finally given up on this flat earth nonsense that he's been promoting since before I started making videos. You know, the truth had finally dawned on him and his audience was dwindling away to the point that it just wasn't lucrative for him to do it anymore. Then he comes out with this 21.5-minute piece of garbage. And I reviewed this the other night, and I have to say that I was shocked at the level of stupidity. So shocked I did something uncharacteristic. I put a note on his page. You know, basically this is what it said. I'm tired of you misrepresenting and lying about basic things. You are misleading people. It is time for you to get out of flat earth. I gave him 1 day to withdraw this video. If he did not withdraw the video, I was not only going to humiliate him. Remember, I've been relatively nice to him. I was going to go down the comments individually and single out each of the supportive posters to show how he hoodwinked these ignorant flurfs. I gave him 1 day. I gave him a fair warning of 90 minutes about an hour and a half ago. He did not withdraw the video. So, we're going to get going.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. I was sent the link to this webpage, so I thought it would be worth just demonstrating how unscientific and how easy it is to show how the people that believe they can disprove the flat Earth and prove a globe Earth with these water level experiments are really just being very childish and unscientific about the whole thing.
Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with what a water level is basically you have two glass or plastic tubes that are connected along the bottom. You put a liquid, generally a colored liquid, in these tubes, and by lining up the meniscus at the top of each column of fluid, you can find true level. So we're going to let Nick discuss this and the implications that it has when it comes to the horizon.
Try and debunk this idea that the horizon somehow drops below eye level. The fact is that eye level is where you will always find the horizon.
Now, as Where's Wally pointed out in his earlier video, here is the basic argument that Phuket makes. Horizon always rises to eye level. Eye level is always where the horizon is. Do you see a problem with that? Maybe just a little one?
This is a commonly accepted fact of life until you come across someone who wants to defend the globe belief. And of course, the globe model is very much dependent on having a horizon that's created by some kind of imaginary curvature, when in fact the horizon is something that occurs in our eyes as a result of looking across a level surface. So let's just go through this and we'll show very clearly why these guys just can't really do any science at all, and they have nothing to back up their ridiculous claims that we have this kind of apparent drop in the horizon at eye level. So here we have this introduction here that says, flat earthers like to say water finds its own level. Well, this is just simply a fact of life, and this is why you can use the water level as is demonstrated here, because we know that water on either side of these tubes will be at the same level. This is real physics.
Okay, so this is a key admission on the part of Phuket Word. He acknowledges that if the water columns line up, that is true level on a water level. It is a fact of physics and without question, and he admits it. Keep that in mind.
And this is why we know that when we look at we compare these two diagrams here of a flat Earth model, which is more like reality, and this ridiculous round Earth globe model, we can see that, of course, the natural physics of water would have water flow down this curve.
Oh dear God, Phuket. That'll be the subject of another video. Let's just go on.
These measurements are performed by using this kind of spirit or water level to find what they call true level. And we can see that what we're talking about here is eye level. So we have the horizontal eye level line of sight at this particular height, lined up with these water levels here, and seeing if it will line up with the distant horizon. That's basically the premise of the experiments here. And here is what they predict is what you should see on a flat Earth. Basically, this is eye level passing through the two levels here, and you would also see it hitting a mountain in the distance. And of course, with the globe Earth, you would have this eye level horizon that shows this massive drop of more distant objects.
Okay, so let's make sure that we are absolutely clear here. Number one, horizon rises to eye level. Corollary to that, eye level is at the horizon. Okay. Number two, on a flat plane Earth, the spirit level will be aligned with eye level and will line up with the horizon. On a spherical Earth, the spirit level will line up with eye level and there will be a drop in the horizon. He's very clear that he understands this.
What they've done, we've got some photographs here showing this water level here, which does, in this instance, line up with the more distant horizon, and we have all this maths to go with it. And here they say this experiment actually works out at sea level. Sea level is just a hair below true level.
Now this makes intuitive sense. If you're at sea level, the drop to the horizon will be minuscule. In this case, it is shown to be 8/100ths of a degree, about a 1/12 of a degree. It's barely discernible with a human eye.
But we'll see in a minute that this whole setup isn't at true eye level.
Well, right here, he's laying his argument. Now, we know that if the water level and your eye level line up with the horizon, the Earth is flat. That's fine with Nick. We know that if your eye level and the water level line up, but the horizon drops below it, the Earth is a sphere. Nick's already acknowledged this. So what happens if we do the test and your eye level and the water level line up, but the horizon drops, suggesting a sphere? Well, Nick's got an excuse for that. It's not at eye level for reasons.
And we have a similar thing here. So what we have here is this claim that in this experiment, it works out in the mountains at an altitude of almost 2 miles above sea level, the horizon is over 1 degree below true level. So we have these mountains and the elevation, and then we have this peak in the distance, and we have this line here representing true level. Well, okay, you can see that this is lined up with these water levels here, but is that really the same as the eye level, as was illustrated in the diagram up here? You know, is this apparatus lined up with eye level to represent true level, or is there some confusion there or obfuscation over what eye level and true level actually are? Well, we'll see again how that has been misrepresented in this photograph.
Now here's the problem that we run into. The sea level demonstrated no horizontal drop. The 2-mile elevation in the mountains demonstrated a 1.2 degree drop as predicted by the equations. We also had 2 intermittent levels that demonstrated a horizontal drop as well, and you can see those right here. It's very clear that the water level is indicating a drop in the horizon from eye level. Now, let's see how Phuket tries to undermine this to counter this obvious evidence of a spherical Earth. And then we're going to watch and see how his followers in the comments section just eat up his foolish explanation. Then finally, we're going to show why it's nonsense. and the simple test that not only Phuket could have done, but every one of his commenters could have done had they actually sought the truth and gotten off their butts and done a very simple observation. So let's have some fun.
Yeah, but first, let's just reiterate what eye level actually is. And this is according to any kind of dictionary definition. Eye level is a horizontal line of sight. So yes, you can talk about the height of the observer being that person's eye level, but what is most important is that person is looking straight ahead, a horizontal line of sight.
Now, I think before we go much further, we need to go back to this original diagram from the video. The top situation demonstrates eye level as being parallel to the flat Earth. Eye level is also perpendicular to the radius line that the person is standing on a curved or spherical Earth. These are both eye level.
Now, of course, if you have something that's physically at eye level in front of you, such as a photograph, a picture on the wall, or an eye level grill or something like that, then physically that object is at the same height as your eyes and you're looking straight ahead at it.
Now, this is a key point. Any object that is on either of those eye level lines is at your eye level.
But when it comes to the horizon, this is obviously something that's off into the distance. And this is just a natural, observable, visual phenomenon that happens when we look across a level surface. We have this surface appearing to rise up to eye level, and it is at this point of convergence is where we get our horizon.
Now recall, he says that on a flat surface, the horizon will rise to your eye level. On a spherical surface where the ground is curving away from you, the horizon will actually be below your eye level, and he's already admitted this.
Eye level. There is no argument about how high off the ground we are. You look straight ahead and you will have a horizon at eye level. And just to be very, very clear here, if we kind of looked up slightly or looked down slightly, we could be tilting our head or even our eyes. Again, we've got to remember that the eyes can move about in their sockets. And of course, even a slight movement from true level, eye level, will obviously result in this widening gap, because obviously it gets longer and farther apart over distance. And the same goes for looking down as well. Okay, but of course we also have perspective, which comes into play, which works in the opposite way to the widening field of view, where we have perspective creating a shrinkage in angular size of everything in the distance. All right, but that's basically it. Anything that's up or down from eye level is not eye level.
Okay, so Nick's made his assertion. Eye level is the midpoint of the photograph. Does anybody see where he went off the rails here? I wonder if his commenters and supporters noticed this. If the horizon always rises to eye level, why isn't that horizon rising to his eye level? Now, either one, the horizon's not where it's supposed to be, or two, his marking of the eye level is not where it's supposed to be. Now, by the way, eye level is where those two water levels line up, and as you see, it matches the horizon perfectly. But let's see if any of his commenters caught on. Okay, let's start off with Victor here. Cropping is another way in which, like cast a spell witch, eye level could be falsified in pictures. If you take a picture and then crop a rectangle of it upside down or below eye level, then you could show the resulting image as a scientific experimental evidence. Then you could even show a picture with the eye level falling outside of the cropped area and then base the results of your experiment on that. Well, that really doesn't make any sense, but he's saying in this that all you have to do to change the eye level is change the cropping. That makes a lot of sense. mind-boggling the lengths they go to, says Tony here. We got anything down here? And getting worse from Dennis Pickard. Okay, so basically he's agreeing with Phuket, saying that, you know, the Globers are just doing this sort of stuff. Now, Stunning Cosmos says this is just wrong. Eye level is not defined by arbitrarily drawing a line at the center of the frame. Now, mind you, this comment's been up for a while, so people had a chance to read it. Let's go see if they have any replies. Phuket Word. I very clearly explained what eye level is, and I very clearly pointed out the camera eye must be horizontal, so you can't have any angle up or down. So you are wrong again to make your accusations without listening. Well, Phuket, you're actually wrong for not checking this, because you're not going to like the results of it. Okay, so Peter here says that in the comments of your last video about eye level, and you asking for proof while not providing one yourself, you said, you'll see, stay tuned. Is this the video we were supposed to stay tuned for? Have you done your own measurements yet? Well, as a matter of fact, I have. I bet you can't wait to see them too. Have you ever answered a single question in your comments? Post your experiments on your channel then. Well, your wish is my command, Phuket. And then puck off. It says here, why don't you just go ahead and do a water level experiment yourself and show the camera and level lines and horizon all lining up? Seems trivial to do. Actually, Critical Think did this at his overlook in Phuket, that he said the horizon rose to eye level, but from 500 feet above sea level, of course, the horizon dropped, as demonstrated by a water level. Okay, Beyond Infinite Planes. I think this is Dell. When it comes to perspective as pertaining to horizons and convergence, Globers detest the concept that the surface will appear to rise. They will say that you can measure it, but there's no rise of the surface. Also, you can't trust water level measures regarding to the horizon because the slightest movement of an inch in either direction, up or down. This will create an image in which the water in the tube will appear above or below the horizon in the background. Let's do some science. Right here is the camera of the iPhone. It's in a framework that causes it to pivot right on this axis right here. So the camera will not go up or down physically no matter what direction the camera itself is pointing, panned up or panned down. Now, this is taken by a second camera, just kind of keeping an eye on what's going on with this little iPhone. The image from the iPhone is over here. Now you're going to see a studio light that has kind of a grid pattern of folds in it, so it's a very nice way to be able to tell what the background looks like. These are two AA batteries. They are the same height, and you can see the tops of them right here, and they are lined up with each other. And they're some distance away, probably about 8 feet. So let's see what happens when we pan this camera up and down and change the frame of the batteries from down here at the bottom to up here at the top, and then we'll even go over to the other side and then up and down in the middle. So remember, if those batteries come out of alignment, you at least have an argument. If they don't come out of alignment, you're done. Now remember, Nick, look at the batteries. Remember, they're right over here. See? You can see the bottom of them right there. I'm just going to start it. Watch. See, the batteries are aligned. Are they changing in alignment? How about to the background? Any changes at all? Now, I want you to look right here. You see on the boom behind it, there's a little notch right here, pretty much lined up with that battery. See whether or not it moves in relationship to that, plus the folds in the back. Still lined up. Let's move them over to the other side. Still perfectly lined up. Doesn't matter if it's in the upper corner all the way down at the bottom. No change whatsoever. You're wrong, Nick. Your theory is garbage. Well, let's go ahead and summarize this for Phuket Word, since he's a little slow on the uptake, as are his subscribers. First, your little cartoon about eye level versus not eye level has been disproven. It doesn't matter whether or not you pan the camera up or down. Second, the eye level is not in the middle of the frame. You drew this eye level on your photograph, and you can't even make the horizon line up with it in your own example. Not one of your subscribers seemed to have caught on to this little inconsistency. Now, when you look at the difference in horizons between a flat and a curved Earth, on a flat Earth, the horizon rises to eye level. On a curved Earth, like a sphere, the horizon drops away from eye level. What do we see in the real world? The horizon drops away from eye level. No question, you can't get out of it, Nick. None of your subscribers will help you or even understand this, but I know you do. Because guess what, Nick? Welcome to the real world, the spherical world. As for the rest of you, thank you very much for stopping by. This is Bob the Science Guy signing out from Northern Michigan. Do me a favor, join Team Bob by hitting that little like and subscribe button down in the lower right corner, and I'll see you again soon.